Ghana position, Venezuela can ye statement, briefly. Ebisi Omusro say my for Yanon Kotum. Ebisi, this is the position that we have to take as a sovereign country. What's your view on that?
Well, I belong to diplomacy.
Okay.
And I'm very much knowledgeable in diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
I strongly say Ghana rushed too much.
We rushed. The statement was rushed.
We rushed.
Until repercussions be?
Yet to be known.
But we rushed.
We rushed.
Why?
Look, we have been pro-democracy, pro-independent. Our stand has not changed. Everybody knows. Pro-independence, pro-democracy, against invasion. And then also Ghana is signatory to the UN Article 40, 940 protocols, etc. Ghana has defended and supported a lot of countries in their stand against imperialism and all those kind of things. That is true. But you look at the dynamics of events and how the other countries are responding. America, or say, why a unilateral decision? In Obama, why a wild? Or call Iraq, or catch Europeans, even the British, or catch the Italians, or catch the Spaniards, or catch the Germans, or say either you are with us or you are not part of us.
Okay.
And they were able to whip up the NATO to follow them, even against their wish.
Yes.
The story was not different from when they were going to Afghanistan. They forced them to move with them, and they did. Was the story different from America? I'm talking about Ghana stand.
Okay.
When America, together with the NATO, together with your friend is saying, Europe, they went to Gaddafi. They went to Libya to take down Gaddafi, subsequently killing him. The Battle of the Seers. Ghana, near stand to Wahimfa. Only African colony, only African country. Only at that time, only provided today, AU chair, AU building in a Gaddafi sponsor more. Gaddafi was a pivotal role of the new AU, transforming from OAU to AU, with President Kufuor, Thabo Mbeki, your friend say, Obasanjo, and all that. Festus Mogae and all that. Gaddafi was the one who put in money for that operation.
Okay.
When Gaddafi was on the edge being killed, what was the stand of
Ghana?
What did we say?
Until Nediani rushed.
What did we say? The only country, the only person that went there was Joko Zuma of South Africa. And whilst even he was there, he needed support from the African Union and said, gather up, let us all come and support our brother. They waited until the United States and other countries warned Joko Zuma, said, well, free Krumwa, they can't protect his interest. In free airspace of Libya, Zuma flight, SAT and normal attack, Echo Bombo, Libya, Tripoli airport, say flights almost about 87 aircraft at the same time.
Wow.
What did Ghana say at that time? What was the protest? What do I Africa? Media say, America, Ghana, you can't stand anywhere in America.
We can't cry.
You cannot stand anywhere in America. Upepana watching sir. And could create a problem. Listen. Papa I in a list. Or do beka say we try 5 years visa. We try 5 years visa. Obi abako we a president cry now call back sakwa kudi lie so. And a more informer, you know him a quiet buyer. Me pacho, we find no fine. And Uncle Foyer, the Esaberry Institute, because our man mentioned him, but then we made a letter of some statements be officials be me my and a man American for trigger that anger and no mutuem. Or no, I can't go pacho and I say a chop a biacoso and no mabeka. Now on one yasem, or no quachi Venezuela, United Kingdom on Kasai on condemn ye, France on condemn ye. Russia were cautious.
Yeah.
China were Security Council members superpower.
On Kasai. Now Ghana keteketi.
Yet, now we are just about a month ago. Wasako far countries, Roma Beka, woman no more visa restrictions. You know. They say Wasabe heightened visa restrictions to a visa ban. Country being saying Sierra Leone. Papa Sierra Leone, why America then? Only any problem. And your rebel, Omni Bianco or the Nabeka home. Ususu Chrono. I listen. the bigger hub of nationals outside, predominantly American no more, followed by the UK, followed by Canada, and then Germany and other part of the world.
Right.
Now, I want to busuya for visit to Omunyamo. I want to busuya for call. I want no me Papa. Oh, Pepana watch no. President Trump on kai. The State Department, they will even ignore. But if they are to stick to the actual and it was this and it was that, Busaon say Holland Kaden. Busaon say Japan Wakaden. Busaon say South Africa Wakaden. You can condemn the word the diplomatic well, let peace prevail. Maybe you condemn the actions of United States. And there a diplomatic language, no private jet. You don't go in there. The coding of the air first. For fear, say, Russia, China, no be back to their aid. And nobody can hear. We are no coding of the sea. And they know my coding crab 3 months. Almost out to sea, no so that.
Yeah.
Obama, what you say? Now, we are no. And sana obey there, Obekogramina, me one, almost ground where 3 months.
That's a special operation on my
Papa, Omo Kochi Noriga, operation just cause. Nefe. From military point of view, no, Omo operation ya na ya kono.
Yeah.
Sir, you look at the intelligence that goes into it, and then you look at the battle itself. Now, on the 150 aircraft, Etimaba, where the kai ashate dome, radar control, no. America for take you over. What I say?
I see.
And we are taking radar space now. Like I said, Omicron radar control unit ne Caracas airport no. Won't mean issue instructions on any aircraft say Omra.
Okay.
Any aircraft be an American for becho. At that time because a pure. Why ready for war? No, I ready for war. No, a grounded in a year. I feel no what is called firefight into the presidency. That time no. The satellite image of Maduro, baby or da baby or number. They were looking up, so they go into a battlefield, and one U.S. army, neho anti. Ebinom de call Obama.
That's a more prepared.
Papa dey asem na okay because one of the Apache gunfire and basic form, gunships in basic form no. When in precision, when in baby a walk, when in baby a quantity, when in baby and security, ne guides war. Cuba for a guide no any other winning baby omo.
Okay.
And tom de ka disable omo crowded that. And son no ma fire. Ne fire nso no we biom the atrocity.
Okay.
Obi antimi me kan e me busa American for say individuals, ordinary citizens, say na American folk mu.
Ekuomo.
On say ho asama mai.
This operation ya.
Obi ankan.
Obi ameka nipa mu we.
Ombetima kwaye sade no pa hwe fire erupt airspace any the buildings, any area now mkoche no. And to be catch them and say, citizen biangu. But new of course you could protect or say it to be safe, it to be smart, it to be quick. Odika one in November and one in December. So a man Christmas present.
Okay.
The very sharp. Said you catch Nigeria. Tini Bruno. Oberman Christmas present. Papa Shakwa Omufaso. Eko yi no. Edino, omi no man for answer flight in manko. Keep on bear 1 hour. Oh, cronimu. Papa 1 hour near den. Chile baby, I dare no.
I dare way.
Go do no wahin. Safe no wahin. A den wire, probity and accountability. One no young no crumo.
Aye.
Yes, wa baby, you know. What say waha, near Kosha or Hansana.
Yeah, the wako.
We see we waha. What I say? Or chain no. On any Renquan Hiano. But Maduro's government, so accuse you Maduro, so or no the air trafficking. Can you not accuse his interior minister?
Honestly, a part of government.
Can you not interior part? Can you accuse his defense minister? Can you leave his defense minister out?
Not at all.
One a guide the ocean, I'm timid near Manoko. One a guide the interior, say Yanchi woman. Is that not the police? Is that not the minister of interior? So far the list. Yanchi Ubia in the Maduro's government, accused by America. Initially, you accuse the government, headed by the president. What up is the wife a member?
And said, Omoyo Mano, Ukro Mubet Mekum Nipa cry and form, so long as say, Oberton or independence and a good, I don't know whether the right word is a good year. say
Yeah.
gold or say found gold, whatever natural resources you have. So long as say obama more kwan ama more de abeye de omo pe no. They don't care. You can stay in power forever. But uyo bia open say ɔman ne sika kɔma obiara te sɛ deɛ na Maduro ɛyɛ no te sɛ deɛ na Noriga ɛyɛ in Panama ɔmo tu no firi hɔ ɔmo ku no yɛyɛayɛ no ɛnde ɔmo no ɔbɛtwe but Venezuela fango a ɛwɔ wiase aman nyinaa obiara ni hɔ a ɔwɔ fango a ɛbɛn Venezuela for deɛ no in terms of reserves ɛne na ɔmo de ɔmo ani asi so a ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo kɔyɛ yi.
To fly in there. Akwa no, even Ghana, Flagstaff House and Jubilee House, very difficult to have so be to me a wura ho. Even specifically, baby, our mampeni, wada, so wada ho, so wada presidential palace numu, say or wofie, so what it is very difficult to tell. No, mu to me, sa. It's strange.
Me ma ɔnkɔ Jubilee House I can tell you say it's easy cry.
Okay.
Baby at Jubilee House esi no ɛnyɛ.
All right, everything for Mama Makwaba. Meaning say onti ya na ebia onhyɛ dam follow international stories ne ensɛm a ɛfa amama ahodoɔ ho. But yɛsi ɛwɔ Venezuela ɛne sɛ ɔmoma mpani America sɛdeɛ bɔfo ko wura mu no wɔhwehwɛ aboa bia no wɔnya no a wɔhunu nwa bi na wɔda fam a na wafa nwa no ɛde na akɔfie akɔkɔyɛ n'aduane no. Wafa Venezuela sɛ nwa. That is the meaning. So I would say any key expression I can see a full be it means with little pressure has a with ease. Okwakofa omoma mpani de no echo as it stands now. Ebisio America, ebisio say omodina kwesi be a whole lot. But world leaders asha see kasa efa ho. E didn't kind North Korea mampani issue warning say one sign fanonko. Russia and so the woman atum say the moye no yeni nye ho. China nso say we it just say ohwe amanya wo mo kasa de etia no a send some international enkomo ne ensem bi a ebobo niema bi de eba na Ghana Honorable Rasmu Barak, now or a member of parliament, said, dear, my friend, the Roman ambassador, just say one name, the whole of Africa, or her say Africa, or man for between two coin, will be a emphasis into coin. Our strong opinions on the air cosi, yenino, any encomo. On our what yanka, yebema akwaba, maybe a oni ojani efibia.
Many abejo so me mawajo efri Serekunda in Gambia.
Okay.
Na ona spend the New Year. Gambia aduma China yene abai mpanyinfo ɛwɔ meetings and which you know so yene media for ɛwɔ engagement regarding visa free policy a yɛ champion ne sɛ bɛyɛ a obi biara ɔyɛ Africani a okuta African passport no otu kwan a n'anya afei na yɛbɛbisa no sɛ fa visa bra so long as they are traveling within Africa. Kofi once upon a time na yɛbi me man mu you know we're all one people Togo ne Ghana for Uganda for ne Kenya for na Tanzania you know pretty much one people Algeria for ne Morocco for
Yeah.
Ana Kwesi Boni in the 1800 1884 85 the lines ebe draw ɛsensan yɛ ama mu ɛkyɛ ɔman no nyinaa ɛma ɔmo ho ɛno no ɛni amoayɛ and ɛnsa nni mmoayɛ na ɛyɛ yɛn mpaebɔ sɛ yɛbɛbie mu na Africafoɔ sɛ yɛkɔ baabiara te sɛ ECOWAS wohɛ ECOWAS Ghanafoɔ all the ECOWAS countries yɛtu kwan akɔ hɔ a we don't have to procure visas and vice versa but there are some other parts of Africa yɛkɔ a ɛsɛ sɛ yɛde visa kɔ meanwhile yɛn nyinaa nso yɛyɛ baako you know enti yɛgye di sɛ yɛtumi yɛ saa de wei ma happen in the next 5 years a edwadie within Africa na ɛbɛkɔ so afei so yɛankasa yɛsra hwɛ tourism so ɛbɛkɔ so ama Africa man mu ayɛ yie. And Kofi, this particular issue is more critical and important now than ever because said we are saying I said the rules-based order, international law no. Ebi de yɛ adwuma, ebi mfa nyɛ adwuma. Wɔahwɛ etuturu asɛm a the American president and then Nkrofo Eco Dean in Venezuela now. It is unbelievable to think that after the last time they did something like this, our mood call be chrome echo arrested or Mampenino was in Panama. It's in the 80s, 89. And this is exactly the anniversary of the Panama events. You know, Mampenino Omoko two free, so your friend Noriga. Now, Omutu no freezes no what they obi a friend Augusto Pinochet. Pinochet was a brutal dictator, but now for home. And said yeah, omoye omonyo mano. Ukuro mo betime kunkum nipa cry and form home. So long as say overturn or independence and a good I don't know whether the right word is a good year. Say
Yeah.
gold or say found gold, whatever natural resources you have. So long as obama omo kwan ama mo omo de abeye de omo pɛ no they don't care, you can stay in power forever. But uyo bia opɛ sɛ ɔman ne sika kɔma obia te sɛ de na Maduro ɛyɛ no, te sɛ de na Noriga ɛyɛ in Panama ɔmo tu no firi hɔ ɔmo ku no yɛyɛayɛ no ɛnde ɔmo no ɔbɛtwe na ɔmo wɔ doctrine bi, and I'm sure you've read about it. Ɔmo friend Monroe Doctrine. Once upon a time, now American president be your friend Monroe. On the back, say, my Maya a United States, especially in Latin America, you know, America will to me a war muscle. Na America ne be dictate the SSA omoyen was a my mo. Enti uyo man penny. Let's say in Latin America na onyom the omo pa and the omunu be because you are within their backyard. Anything that or Fidel Castro say they attempted to kill him 600 times, Kofi. 600 times. The CIA made attempts from, Omosma or Base or Nenonkoda. Eventually, the woman even confessed and they had, they made love. Or more the bomb, share cigar, more, more, yeah, Bibia, more intimate Fidel Castro simply because he wasn't going to sell out his country, And I think, say, the growing condemnation around the world, or has Spain has made a strong, position on this particular issue, and then China, even Ghana, Russia, North Korea, and some other countries, and that's the way it's supposed to go, because yes, in Kunya, I agree, say, ewiase, the emran ebeye juma, bako fontimi monitiri mo po, enkoye tuturasem. Now it's not under international. There's no law under international law support whether it's the UN Charter. The UN Charter say the only time I crowd with me I invade you be country, and they say when you have been attacked. That's the law. When you have been attacked. Now you miss out your say it to or Venezuela for more attack you or more attack you. Also drugs. Na drugs issues no so kofi. Tese in nsem tin even say Maduro yere e offer senom bi ana US for echi omo with drugs many years ago. Na omo chi omo no obviously first lady cousins. And so there were some Americans who were also arrested in your friend say Venezuela. And we prisoner swap, or we prisoner exchange. We prisoner exchanger. was a Maduro, will be our supply drugs in the United States of America. When you know, say,
Prisoner exchange say the na America action no de Venezuela de ma omo na Venezuela nso de na omo nso action no e de ema ye nti na say family
you're
brand.
very say, exactly. Maduro, a year, ewa fasinum na omochi omo in America, no. America for Eddie Omoko, if ye. Eddie Omoma, your friends in Venezuela, for Venezuela, for Eddie Omo.
Okay.
Omo nipa omachen Emma America for. Who had the issue of drugs? Drugs there, cocaine near there, every Colombia. All the drugs. And Kofi, you live in the Western Hemisphere, you can read the facts. All the drugs, every Colombia. Enti fan war a war Venezuela. And then money so. The economy of America is not doing well. The economy is doing, but he's mismanaging the economy. And he needs something for his fan base to say, oh, he's fighting against drugs. And obviously, I mean, the fight against drugs was one of these campaign things. Or the bar, abemo. Oh, say. But Venezuela found go a war. We are seeing my na obie ni ho a or found go a bang Venezuela for their in terms of reserves. And then omudi omoni esiswa omupese omukoye omukosisa. I think so Venezuela shares border with Guyana, and I was in Guyana 2 years ago. Guyana has also discovered massive amounts of oil. What do I say? Any natural gas. Now, omunim say omutu Maduro fiwa. As for Guyana, Guyana nipa or more Guyana, omun share no subia. They are about 1 million or 2 billion. They can do whatever they want in that area. Now, omunwia omufango. Kofi is the same modus operandi. Omu say Saddam Hussein, weapons of mass destruction. Ekoria say, look at the number of people who died. And for us in Africa, because African Ibeka say, oh, na bibi because we are American, ne Venezuela for Africa ni efa home. World events have a way of, affecting us, whether it is the global prices of commodities that go up or not.
Kofi TV, live as it happens.
And certainly, it affects us because see, na odisa etutu asabia. Etina bi obetima about Africa because say only Africa president be enya adwenti obetu. And they will do these things. But I feel sorry for the Venezuelan people because sadly there's no way it could have happened without insider collaboration. There's no way. Kofi, there's no way America could have pulled this off without insider collaboration. But of course, you should understand. Say nipa no and nipa yasum sika esin bibia.
That is where not me ban officer a sovereign country to say Venezuela. Na ade bechi where na mo president or share pajamas or share overall. Nekra was releasing new pictures and also no post abambo for ne twa ne ho ahia to fly in there. Akwa even Ghana Flagstaff House and Jubilee House very difficult to have so be to me ewura ho ehunu even specifically baby a omampani wada so wada ho so wada presidential palace no mu say owo fie so owo he. It is very difficult to tell no wo mutumi kokokye ne sa it's strange.
Jubilee House, I can tell you say it's easy, cra.
Okay.
Baby at Jubilee House is and we've said this time and again. Jubilee House, God forbid, I perish the thoughts. But security wise, is he?
Wow. Meaning Ghana, say Obabe Fayanka, it would have been more easier because of your position.
Way easier, way easier. Now, private residences at Ben Jubilee House. I'm on for the Emma High, Abonsambi on Wabesisi. next to Jubilee House. You compromise the security of, the president. And these are things that we have to take very seriously. What did I say? But back on, I'm sure that this will be a conversation for another day. But I can tell you,
it's interesting. We will look at it.
security wise. Look, averagely, what to play more. What I say, ufa plane ako Kumase, and ako Tamale, and ako Monone, you actually see Jubilee House directly. And I know of story buildings are, ubetime jinaso, so obeso dibone no dibone. Because it's our country, we can't say these things publicly. But the security, maybe a Jubilee House, and yet, what do I say? But back on Venezuela. Venezuela look, Maduro, the security are very tight. Anna be only now for Epenekuno. Like there have been attempts, even one publicly known assassination attempt on him. And to onyo bia sabi Kofi or dafa ko obeka say ope Kofi a oba sakomo na obe hun Kofi opera subara ko ajenga na obe hun rasubara.
Yeah.
It was difficult. But like I was trying to say, and then on Nipa Yasumsika, the bounty on his head was $50 million. Kofi, we are saying Nipa Emwa Hena. Yeah, because $1 million cry to betray your country. And then you soldier for the near bambo for the baby come betray. What I say? But there was a bounty on his head of $50 million. And people took money and sold him out for a pittance. And the sad thing also for opposition now, sometimes Ori of ones are now all held there. The opposition was collaborating with America for and urging for Maduro to be overthrown. And Sema and not Trump Kai.
Yeah.
I think the opposition leader is not a serious person. She doesn't even command the respect within the country. Why when Kaunya Butre Esako another election Ibianka Ubenya? They say why you to Maduro also Akunyana now open so Trump catch us, oh, you are not even a serious contender for the thing. They are not even talking to you. There's a Unyopia. They are talking to the vice president, who is also very loyal to, the socialist cause of Venezuela. And nyoma ya AC no, Kofi, echina o there. What they are telling us is that you can actually do that. And that is wrong for one omunia honey.
Yeah.
Because we must all abide by certain rules and we must protect the weak within society.
Okay. So
And what they've
picking
done, say let me land on this one. Say condemn serious. Look, I would even go as far as saying countries around the world should impose sanctions as a way of punishing America for what it has done. But I know, say, of course, there are a lot of the countries around the world don't have, the courage to be able to do something like that. But look at the story of David and Goliath. Obi a bullier. It takes one courageous person to stand up to him and say, look, enough is enough. And I think the world can stand up to this imperialism. Before Nkrumah was overthrown, there had been attempts on his life. Fire finance people within the country. Krubina students, you see, Kofi Ukofe Chira, based on CIA's classified files, they are financing it. Look at the beautiful world that God has created. Na kroba ko omopeso omotata obia just say you have to do things according to their bidding. Or natural resources it is American companies who have to be the ones running and extracting your natural resources. Is that how God created the world? And it's so appalling that this level of bullying, I mean, we've got to stand up. The world has to stand up to this.
So, some see it as a warning to other countries. And yes, some cry. In fact, America Mampany, Abobo countries be creating, including Mexico, you know, say, the SC, Venezuela, no, Omonfa, into Omoho Efo. Yenimo nso sɛ sisi ano ayɛ sɛ wiase boa ɔmo ho ano na Russia ne Ukraine deɛ ɔmo akɔ akɔtae ebi mo akɔ akɔtae Ukraine akyi ebi akɔ akɔtae Russia akyi the fear sɛ yakɔkyi wei a ebetumi nso akɔ akɔkyi ebi and then even in Africa already see wiemhyɛn yi a America wiemhyɛn yi kɔkɔsi Burkina yɛsɛ by force landing yi a ebi nso read other meanings into it ama ɛde some general panic bi. Is there really the cause for that panic? Say, ebitumi akwase se bi aka wanhwe kra na kra me hu se afia poku akra post to say Nigeria president nso nhwe yi sa bre ya topa ya sha se kokko we obehu ana akokra Jagaban na wono nso mababa mu ana de naba. Is that a reason to be scared?
Although they said that America crap that for drug offenses. Every time I know or America no or a baron. Enti omode omasem eba no so a enya me ngwa. You know, but we shouldn't tolerate this kind of behavior. But the point is also that whether Venezuela or Mexico, they are low-hanging fruits. Mexico doesn't have weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Neither does Venezuela. I didn't know Monko Kim Jong-il. I didn't know Monko arrested. And they would see what would happen to American bases. I didn't know Monko a Ayatollah. And they would see what would happen to American bases. I mean, they are lead. Baby, omodia kono kofi. Ye mompai. Now, omunye the mistake of overstepping and doing something crazy. Because and you'll be an idea some corner so. You underestimating him, but don't want some corner so about bopa. You may
But
be mighty.
idea back on see me one say abra hint by say there is that possibility say America be Venezuela na e one sem no eboba no China shall see move ne warships ni bi omo ye say ombe close in I say ombe tumi protect that prevent that from happening. And what we are hearing is the kind of sophistication America they became undetectable, intimi undetected. So there are those theories, and so say America advanced, though China drones are or launching and saying ne preparedness near Denoa. A sign position almost truly or supreme.
Well, I can tell you one thing. This operation was so sophisticated. There's a akondia mood anywhere. I mean, you're talking about 150 aircrafts were involved in this operation. 150 aircrafts. Into any preparation and for any country that also doesn't have the sophistication of detection, very difficult. Because one, deactivate once crobia or radar detection.
Yeah.
And it's a shem shrine
Yeah.
bagana, for instance, we get to know before the plane even enters our event say airspace. And I say right airspace we get to know. But America it deactivate remotely. Venezuela radar detection. Omu deactivate we remotely omu do momokania and plunged Caracas in darkness, and they executed the operation. What do I say? And so you have to respect them for the level of that kind of sophistication. But there's no way they could have pulled this off without Judases within Venezuela. There's no way. Because somebody would have hinted and, alarm would have blown and the whole operation would have gone bad. Don't forget, Kofi. I mean, you should remember this. In Somalia, they tried something like this and they killed their soldiers like crazy. In Somalia, they attempted to arrest a sitting Somali vice president. This was under President Clinton. Almost shoot down one of their, planes and, say, Ekunkum American soldiers, actually more form. They dragged them on the streets of Mogadishu. American soldiers. This was under President Clinton. What do I say? So, Tembia, yeah, say unite, let's unite. Yanka Timbum. Look, there may be NDC, MPP, but the national interest must always come first. Because united against a national interest. Obi free abonte ebe attack here. It's so easy for them to penetrate and to be able to attack us. And in the case of Venezuela, that's exactly what has happened. Yes, America has had a lot of sophistication, but they could not have pulled it off without local, collaborations. Of course, modern warfare will be a war. War accoutrement. And then the Babonte.
Yeah.
Because you need to be able to hide some of your weapons. Anything that may bought America for Coco. I know they wouldn't listen. I know they've got a crazy president and he's delusional and almost feels that gangalia ubia niho. It has happened before. In Somalia, American soldiers were Somalia, but they were able to bring down an American helicopter and slaughtered American soldiers. What do I say?
Yeah.
How much more North Korea? How much more Iran? How much more somewhere else? And they've got to be very, very careful. They're now succeeding back. And then just say you should go ahead and destabilize world peace. But I also know, say, Trump was a bully bias for.
Okay. Okay. I think from the things fall apart, Okonko was seen as be a for, but because of pushing fear no in others and makes it look like bold, yeah.
And I know, say, I can bet, may to bet say there will be no further escalation. I can bet, so say, did they are more say, oh, others are put on watch. Nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen because they would have been overstretched. And don't forget, more troops all over the world, more station, more troops, more bases. America for the almost they say among citizens ever back home in body bags. Already Vietnam in the 70s and 80s, Vietnamese at the year or more. They never forget about the events of Vietnam. What do I say? And so they may not have the weapons to match you pound for pound. But Obetechiri, who run the crewman or say yes, Bibi will be BH. They would engage you in guerrilla warfare. I mean, it's even happened in Iraq. Iraq, it was a miracle. In Afghanistan, eventually they had to run away. Afghanistan is not like they achieved any victory. It was a quagmire, a situation they could never get out of victoriously. Eventually, they had to run away and move all their soldiers out and cut their losses. What do I say? And we have Venezuela, the militia in Venezuela, if America for the boots on the ground a bar, it will be a bloodbath. Again, I can bet.
Okay.
Say
So
America
now,
for your mistake, Eddie a soldier for a cop form say they should go and live in Venezuela and run Venezuela as Trump is saying now. Omwambo say baby will be
ɛhɔ na meba no because as it stands now to say yɛwɔ United States of America ɛna yɛwɔ United States of Venezuela because Venezuela president America president technically because ɔsɛ ɔbɛ ɔno ara na ɛbɛhwɛ hɔ until
and
timelines bi anim.
or can be keke. I'm sure you've heard the vice president. I said they would never surrender an inch. They are not going back. One of the Trumps is on also Osaya Trofo. It's not everything he says that you have to believe. And no, by in a press conference or say, his Secretary of State and the Foreign Minister, and the Venezuelan Vice President, who's now the acting president, Akasa, na Mameno Krana no ho popokra or say America for epibia. They should just say it, they will do it. The woman has said in a press conference, they would not surrender an inch of Venezuela. They are not going back to the days or more for any other country. She said it. Why have they not come to, contradict her? So more America for at the highest level, these kinds of meetings, they record it. They should play the recordings, let the world hear. So some of these things are just rhetoric. Any who and anybody. But I use this opportunity to also commend countries who have amassed weapons of mass destruction. Kofi, that is the only way.
Sɛ aman no a wɔn akɔpɛ topayɛ a ɛdi awuo no wɔn apɛ bi agu hɔ no wobɔ wɔn aba so.
And I said, a topaye, omonka omo to abu biao. But also only so omo topaye, also mepa omontokwa.
Nti no
That is the only.
ɛno na ɛbɔ wo ho ban sɛ wonni ani bi deɛ a yɛbɛtumi afa wo sɛ nwa.
Now, she did there omoye about North Korea, and now take North Korea in some. And no, said the Benkra, and yes, episode no kra. No, and I think North Korea tested ballistic missiles today. They tested. What did I say? And that is the only protection they have. Into the year Africa for yen 5 Guinea, let's learn lessons. Nienya kro, nien united unity nenya say yeah, but dismantle countries. I mean, all these borders that restricts Africans from trading amongst ourselves. By now, we should have a stand-alone army. As our terrorists here, more for in Nigeria and Sahel region, see, AU could send a standing army to go and deal with them once and for all. But Kofi, Yanyakro.
Africa Africa it will be difficult sisi akora no hwɛ wɔn a ate wɔn ho mmiɛnsa yi a sisi wɔn nso aka wɔn ho abɔ yi wohwɛ abra Burkina deɛ siiɛ bɛ meet na ɛkɔɔ so wɔ Ghana sɛ ECOWAS nkeka wɔn asraafoɔ na yɛnkɔ nkɔhyɛ deɛ yɛ Burkina president no sɛ wɔnsi fam ɛne all those things akyire yi ɔna ɛte so yi ebi bɛka ho and egu so spread. How do you then bring all these people together? Because ɔno ankasa te so no koraa no o plane koraa na ebesi hɔ a osuro wi ɔyɛ asuro ɔyɛ.
Sɛ ɛno no ɔmo hu sɛ yɛfrɛ ne sɛ AU na ankasa they don't have the teeth to bite. Wohwɛ Eritrea and Ethiopia. They are neighbors. I say Ghana and Togo, but they have serious problems. Omo nkasa. Wohwɛ Algeria and Morocco. As a matter of fact, Algeria and Morocco dey kyerɛ sɛ ɔmo ka kasa baako, ɔmo som ɛyɛ baako, ɔmo culture ɛyɛ baako. But you know what happens? You can't even drive from Algeria to Morocco and also from Morocco to Algeria. They've blocked their borders since 1994. Me free Morocco, maybe call Algeria. You know what happened? I had to fly all the way to France and pick a plane from France to Algeria. Meanwhile, these are neighbors. Like I could have driven to Algeria from Morocco. AU ntimi solve saa problem yi. Sahel region die. Omuntimi solve. Rwanda ne DRC problem. Omuntimi solve. To the extent that Trump never free your friends say Rwanda man penny ne Congo DRC man penny to the White House. We should be able to fix our own African problems. A good day, what Africa menu. Say nyame aye ya duma to the, pardon my French, to the nonsense degree, as we say in our local parlance. You will be beer, fangua, you will be gold, you will be uranium, you will be tim, you name it, Kofi. As a matter of fact, DRC nkwa ebetima Africa man for 10 years. 8 year salaries. I built bridges, schools, hospitals, Kofi for 10 years. If DRC doesn't have war and they're getting their act together and they're able to, extract their minerals and sell it properly, they can take care of all the other 53 countries in Africa. DRC for 10 years. Ghana for every year, meet salaries, 8 year Nigeria salaries for 10 years, Kofi. That is how much wealth, and that's just one country. Now add Angola. Fangua Angola Tisono is mind blowing. Add Algeria, add Nigeria, add South Africa, add Ghana, add Equatorial Guinea. I mean, what is wrong with us? Nansenya across Somalia for Azenya Fangu Bebre. What is wrong with us? If we can't unite and use these God-given natural resources to develop our countries and advance the betterment of our people, then Nyankopon ankasa okase or the no me bias wa, it's gonna be crazy. Because that's a Kofi Sebi, we're not using our brains to look. There are countries that don't have a quarter of what we have as Africans, and they are doing better. There are countries in Africa that have more oil than UAE. But look at what has happened. And look at where we are. The poverty levels, if you travel across Africa, Kofi ebe bowahe ho. And so my point is, Nyoma ekoso ewo wiasi, Russia to invade Ukraine, America to seize. Hey, obi ma penny. No, we've got to unite. And like Julius Nyerere said, the president of Tanzania, that Africa must unite or perish. This is the time. If we can't smell the coffee and rise up and work together and unite, then we're going to perish.
Yɛmfa ɛnɛ nkɔmmɔ yi nsia na yɛda wase yɛbɛsan atoa nkɔmmɔ yi so as nneɛma no develop ɛkɔ no. Honorable Rasmus Barak,
na me mawo efishapa ema ahwefo so efishapa.
Nyame ma afipa nkɔmmɛto yɛ. Yɛda ase paa.
The traditional foods are eating starch and carbohydrates. Mu bebree. But true green food, yes, starch and carbohydrates no. Kids way be na womb. Very healthy. Boom who buy free yare to say diabetes, kidney failure, cholesterol, hypertension, cancer. Any keka. True green food. More breakfast options to say cocoa, Tom Brown, oatmeal. Any keka. True green food. Oh yes, our products now are 100% organic and natural. So we here be to deliver my baby a
My chef and party planner. You know we can't get this retirement/birthday shindig go wrong.
Everything is almost ready, but small problem.
Alright, what's up?
We are way over budget, Kweku. Everything is almost twice the estimate.
Alibaba, okay?
No worries. So with Tap Send, I have got a cake and decorations covered from here. You handle the food. If any extra expenses comes up, just text me or call me. I'm off today, so I should be easily reachable.
Hey, Chairman, it is for day.
Say, no be easy. You chairman has time and money.
Allah,
Kweku tap tap, kweku do, kweku that.
I chairman can call you.
Hey, Alande, chairman send them.
Tap send. Papa no.
Hello, love.
Gary, do you have Mommy's parcel for her big day?
The shipping company says it will take 1 month.
A month? Gary, use Rapid.
Rapid?
Rapid courier ships from the United States to Ghana and 9 other African countries within 3 to 5 days. Log on to rapidgroup.com, buy, ship to us, and we deliver right to your doorstep.
That fast?
Yes, that's Rapid for you. Can you sign this?
I thought you only ordered Mommy's parcel.
No, I ordered a few car parts too.
Are you too busy to shop? We will shop for you. Rapid also has a luggage delivery service, so you can make that extra luggage and we will deliver at the lowest rate.
Rapid Courier. Just shop. We deliver. Enjoy.
Hello. This banana-like tree in my office always reminds me of the village. Yes, the village where I grew up herding cattle by the river, bathing in the river. Growing up in the village, life was not easy. But fellow diasporans, as we fly and conquer the world, let us always be reminded of the need. The villages that gave us wings. Today, we are giving away £1,000 to 10 lakh charities across Africa in the countries that we serve. Fellow diasporans, help us nominate the most needy, the most deserving charities that we can make happy this Christmas. Thank you.
Diaspora Insurance. Peace of mind guaranteed.